And I thought today, instead of listening to me talk the whole time, it'd be more fun for you guys to work with partners in breakout rooms to read through the science. If you disagree and you really don't want to go work with a partner, you can stay with me, but I would think you'd be getting tired of listening to my voice go on and on and on. So we are doing, I'm going to show you the assignment that we're doing. We're working on science, mod 11, lesson 2. So please go over here and open up your science, go to science, click it open, go to the modules, and go to 1102, climates and characteristics. This lesson is a little bit longer. It's 13 pages. Did I not record this? Oh, I did record, good. But it covers some kind of important information. And I think you can read through it pretty quickly with a partner. So I'm thinking after 13 minutes, what we'll do is come back together and do the quiz together as kind of a competition. It'll be kind of fun. So that's my idea. So please go to lesson 11.
What if you already finished the quiz?
Did you do the quiz already? Well, then you should do really well going through it. Look at the baby laughing. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up breakout rooms. And if you would like to work with a partner in a breakout room, then we'll put you in the partner in the breakout room. And if you really don't want to work with a partner in the breakout room, just tell me. So what I'm
Can I be with the boy?
Do not ask, because then that leaves kids out. What I'm going to do is have the computer do it. And then if I see a problem with that, I'll change it around. But let's just see if I just set up, there are 13 of you. If 12 of you did it, that would be like 6 rooms. So let's recreate it to 6 rooms. And then I'm gonna have to make it 7 rooms because we're gonna have to do book club at 2:30, and I am not sure you'll be done, but we'll see. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to, and what I'd like you to do is just don't join the breakout room. If you want to stay with me in the main room, just don't join the breakout room. Let's see, I got to get kids out of room 1. Move to room 6. Okay. Move to room 7. Yep. And then move to room 7. Okay, let's exchange. Just a second, I'm working on it. Okay. Let's see here. Exchange. Let's move you to room 6. We'll move you to room 5. All right. All right, here's how it is right now. Christian and Eli, you guys are going to be in room 3. Liam and Amadi in room 4. Amoy, Bree, and Sasha in room 5. Hunter and Javen in room 6. And the rest of you guys, Halme, Jackson, Luis, if you want to join a room, let me know. You'll be invited to room 7, but I'd recommend you just stay with me, or maybe I'll come to room 7 and we'll just go through the lesson. Okay, so that's 11:02. After about 13 minutes, I'm going to bring you guys back to the main room and we'll do the quiz together. Okay. So just stay with me if you don't want to go to your breakout room. Go through the lesson and see what you can learn. Christian, are you going to go? Yeah. Or Eli, are you going to go with Christian to the breakout room and help him through the chapter? Good. Amoy and Bree, are you guys going to go to the breakout room or not today? There goes Amoy. Bree, are you going to go to the breakout room? Okay, I'm going to share my screen and walk us through this chapter. So this chapter is about the way the Earth is heated, having to do with where it is in space. So let me move that over. Here we go. Hunter, are you not going to join your breakout room today? Because your partner doesn't have another partner. So if you don't go, I'm going to have to move him. So can you tell me whether you're going to join or not? Hello, Hunter, are you there? Hunter is gone. Let's move Javen to room 4. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead with the lesson. 1102, 13 pages. So the first page of the lesson, well, this is page 2, but first page just tells you what you're doing. At the bottom of a mountain, it might be 80 degrees and sunny, but as you climb the mountain and get further away from the surface of the earth where it's absorbed the heat, and the air gets thinner, it gets colder, it might even rain. As you get higher, it gets snow and freezing cold. In fact, the temperature drops about 3 degrees every 1,000 feet in elevation as you move up a mountain. Why? The weather in a climate zone can change based on a few different things. This includes how close to the sky or water you are and what the makeup of the atmosphere is. Feeling the heat. In the desert, you won't find much water, but you will find lots and lots of heat, some deserts. This lack of rain and hot temperature is what makes the desert climate zone pretty extreme. It's a good thing camels can store fat in their humps to help them survive the desert climate. Precipitation and temperature are what affect the environment of different climate zones. Each climate zone has unique characteristics that identify it and determine the conditions that people, plants, and animals live in. Let's learn more about climate zones. So here's the search engine. We talked yesterday about the polar zone being really, really cold. The temperate zone being where we live, where the weather is a little more temperate. It's a little more reasonable. It doesn't get as cold or as hot. So that's like where we live. You can see the picture. The tropical zone. We talked about all of that yesterday. So here we have the polar, the temperate, and the tropical zones. Find the zones. Climate zones have unique characteristics that identify the type of living conditions they provide. Some climates are hot and wet, some are cold and dry, many are in between. Let's see if you can identify the different types of climate zones in the next activity. So here's some clues. 4 distinct seasons. Summer is hot and dry. So this is going to be the temperate zone with 4 distinct seasons. Winter is cold and wet. Summer is hot and dry. I think it's the temperate zone. We survived. All right. Warm to hot all year round. Very little rain. Temperature 25 Celsius year round. We're talking the tropics. Very good. And then the next one will be cold. Here's an activity where we test our skills. Again, select each bubble to review what's in the climate zones. I think we've got that. Let's go on. Got a little latitude. The way I learned this word latitude is that lat rhymes with fat. So it's like the lines going around the fat part of the earth. The climate of an area is influenced by how much sunlight it receives. Areas that receive many hours of sunlight in a day have different climates compared to areas that receive only a few hours of sunlight. If you look at Earth from space, you're going to see the sun's rays are closest to the areas near the equator, right where the shining part is in this picture. These areas receive the most sunlight compared to other areas. As you move to the North and South Pole, the sun's rays become farther away and they're kind of at an angle, so you receive less direct sunlight. The latitude of an area is its distance north or south of the equator. So these are imaginary lines they've drawn around the Earth, from the line around the center of the Earth where it's spinning on its axis to the skinnier parts out by the poles. Climate changes at different latitudes and is a factor that affects weather in climate zones. Areas located at high latitudes, far from the equator, receive less sunlight than places at low latitudes. So when you're looking at this latitude, it's a measurement of how far north or south an area is from the equator. You can think of it as imaginary lines that circle the Earth. Latitude and climate zones are super connected. You'll notice that where the equator is, where the Earth's the thickest, as it rotates on its axis, is where it's the warmest. Here is a little video about latitude.
Lines of latitude are like flat lines that stretch from east to west. Lines of latitude are a lot like ladders. Whew, what a climb! The equator is the line of latitude in the middle. It divides the northern and southern halves of the planet. The lines of latitude measure how far north or south places are from the equator.
And I'm sure you've heard before that while we're having summer, the people in the southern hemisphere are having winter and vice versa. So using your new knowledge of latitude, answer these questions. You can check your answers by clicking on the little answer things. In what direction do lines of latitude run? Well, they run east and west. Yeah. What is the equator? That's the line at the middle separating the north and south halves of the earth. The northern hemisphere. Hemisphere means half of a sphere. And the southern hemisphere. What do the lines of latitude do? They just help us know where things are. They measure how far north or south places are from the equator. Latitude and the sun. Different latitudes on Earth receive different amounts of sunlight and heat from the sun. This plays a big role in determining the climate. Areas around the equator receive a lot of sunlight. So if you look at this, if this is the sun's rays, you can see they're most direct on the equator. And actually, that's showing the Earth as being straight up and down. But we know that the Earth is tilted. It's tilted on its axis in relation to the sun. So as it travels around the sun, when we're tilted away, it's our winter. And when we come around this side and we're tilted toward, this is the sun, then this is our summer. And it's their winter down here. It's a little tricky. I need 2 balls to show you. Temperatures in the climate zones are very hot for most of the year when you're in this area with the most direct sunlight. You can see the north and south poles are the furthest. Also, when the sun's rays are coming directly on versus at an angle, you don't get as much direct sunlight. This image shows how average temperatures change at different latitudes. The red color indicates the higher temperatures on Earth. The blue and the purple are the cooler temperatures. You can see the North and South Pole are the coldest places on Earth. Describe how latitude affects the average temperature. The closer you are to the equator, the hotter it is. Latitude also affects the precipitation or rain of an area. Since areas close to the equator receive direct sunlight, they have hot temperatures all year round. As you move away from the equator, temperatures get cooler. Temperature affects the amount and type of precipitation. In general, more evaporation happens at higher temperatures. So when it's warmer, the air can hold more water and it evaporates faster. So you have more rain in warmer areas. Believe it or not, Alaska, even though we think of it as this cold, icy place, they have very little precipitation there. It's kind of a desert. But a cold desert. That's why I was like, not all deserts are hot. Okay, tropical climate zones, average temperatures are warm. Polar regions located at the highest latitudes and the lowest latitudes, and cold. Less precipitation. It's time to show how much you know. Page 8, the greater the distance from the equator, the warmer the temperature, cooler, the more sunlight, the more rain, or the cooler the temperature. Ding, 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 cooler. Blank affects the amount and type of precipitation in a certain area. Temperature affects the amount and type of precipitation. Nothing gets past you. And finally, based on its latitude or distance from the equator, which city would you predict would receive the most precipitation? So here's the equator. Remember, near the equator is going to get more rain. So would it be New York City up here, Bogota, Colombia, right here, pretty close to the equator, Alberta, Canada, way up there in the polar region, or London, England, about where we live, actually? I'm guessing Bogota. Correct. Bogota is located in the tropical zone. Slide 3 of 3, so that's that. And now we're on page 9, elevation and climate. Sometimes areas that lie at the same latitude can experience different weather conditions. Why is this the case? Although latitude is a factor, other factors such as elevation and nearness or proximity to water helps explain climate variations. Let's take a look at how elevation affects the climate. So how tall or high you are from the Earth's surface. Elevation is the height of an area above sea level. At the bottom of a mountain near the ocean, you're at a low elevation because you're close to sea level. As you climb up, you get higher and higher. Areas located at higher elevations, such as the top of tall mountains, have climates that are similar to a polar zone. For example, if you were to visit Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, you'd experience a tropical climate at the base and a colder climate similar to the weather at the poles at the top. Areas at higher elevation are generally cooler than areas at sea level. This just shows how the temperature gets colder. Areas at higher elevations are generally drier than areas closer to sea level. The top of the mountain is kind of like a polar region, receives less rain. How do temperature and precipitation change as you increase elevation? Both of them go down. The temperature gets colder, the precipitation gets less. Bodies of water. There's a reason people choose to vacation near the ocean. It's cooler. Even if you're located in the same latitude and climate zone, an area near the ocean can have a different climate than an area inland. Why? Because it's close to water. There's more precipitation, making temperatures cooler. If you drive even a few miles away from the water, it feels hotter and more humid. So when it's hot in Portland, a lot of people head to the beach. Areas close to bodies of water, such as oceans, seas, and large lakes, are more temperate than the areas further away. These areas have more precipitation and milder temperatures than those inland. So you have, even though it's cooler, it's also warmer. It doesn't get the extremes. Areas further inland have greater changes in their temperature. Areas near water have milder climates, so it's cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter. Let's look at how water impacts the water land temperature. In winter, it's warmer near a body of water. In summer, it's cooler near a body of water. So living by water is a good idea unless you get flooding. Describe how the nearness of water affects precipitation. If you live near water, you're going to expect more rain because it's evaporating from the water. Factors that affect climate. Okay, in the next activity, you're going to explore different factors. How does the nearness of water affect temperature and precipitation? Bangkok, Thailand is near the ocean and has a climate that's hot with a lot of precipitation. I'm going to be going there this summer for a boat race, and they say it's going to be hot, 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 and super humid. Here's North America. This is almost Portland. Seattle, temperate zone near the ocean, has a climate that's cool with moderate precipitation. I would say it rains a lot, but they say that we're moderate. That's nice of them. And then here's Greenland in the polar zone. It's cold, cold, cold. Average annual precipitation is 98 centimeters. Here's our summary. And finally, our end of unit wrap up. I'm going to call everybody back from the breakout rooms. So let me get them back and we're going to do the quiz together. Hey guys, you might not be done, but come back to the breakout room and let's take the quiz together for fun, okay? Come with your teammates back to the main room. All right, I'm going to share my screen and we are going to go through the quiz together. Let's see how we do. Here's our...
I knew I never could, no, I can't, want nobody.
Okay, we can hear you. Here's our quiz. Let's see how we do. Question.
Wrong quiz.
This is the wrong quiz, is it? 1102, this is it.
It's 11:04.
No, we're doing 1102 today. 1104 is the one you have to submit, but we're doing 1102 together. Okay?
I saw it was 11:04.
1104 is due on Thursday. Here we go. Which climate zone is hot and receives a lot of precipitation throughout the year? Whoever answers first in chat or out loud gets a point for their team. You're on the team with your partner. Who knows the answer? Which climate zone? Chat. I don't see anything in chat. I hear nothing.
Tropical.
Tropical. Who said tropical?
Me, Christian.
Okay, Christian. You're right. 1 point for Christian. Okay. Which climate zone has hot summers, cold winters, and average amounts of precipitation throughout the year? What do you think, guys?
There's a lot of precipitation.
Well, think about it, because are tropical zones ever cold in the winter? No.
No.
Is the polar zone ever hot in the summer?
No.
No. The equator is the same as the tropical, so what's left?
Temperate?
The polar.
Yes,
temperate.
temperate. Christian gets another point. Man, Christian, you're on fire. All right, one city is at a higher altitude than another city. How does this make the two climates different? Christian's got 2 points so far for his team.
The
The higher the latitude, the lower the temperature. The higher the latitude, the higher the temperature. Latitude does not affect precipitation, but changes the temperature. Or latitude does not affect temperature, but changes the precipitation. What do you think? As you go in higher latitude from the equator, are you getting higher temperatures or colder as you go further away from the equator?
Colder?
you get colder.
Colder is correct. Number 4, one city is located north of the equator and experiences average rainfall and warm temperatures. Another city is located exactly the same distance from the equator, but south. How will these two climate areas be the same or different? Will the temperature and precipitation be different? Will the temperature and precipitation be pretty similar? And so what they're asking is, as you go north and south from the equator, the equal distance, do we have the same conditions?
Don't you have I lost.
What do you think as you go? So like, for example, even
The
though
temperature will after but
a country like Chile is about the same difference from the equator as we are, will the temperatures there be similar? Or is it going to be a lot hotter, a lot colder?
similar?
They'll both differ, right? They'll both differ.
They're going to be similar. So if you're at the equator, let's say you go 10 degrees north and 10 degrees south, those areas are going to be similar if they're the same difference from the equator. If you were to start at the base of a mountain and climb it all the way to the top, how would the climate change? Would it get colder and drier as you went up? Would it get warmer and wetter? Would it stay the same? Or would it be similar to a tropical climate as you climb the mountain?
It would be colder and drier.
drier.
Okay, that one, both you and Liam get a point for that one. Question 6, you live near the ocean. Your friend lives further inland. Based on this, what can you say is most likely different about the climate in your area from your friend's area in the winter? If you're not near the ocean, is it going to be warmer or colder in the winter?
It's probably gonna be warm, colder.
Yeah, that's true, because as you get away from the water, the temperature is more extreme. So in Oregon, the places that are further east, farther from the ocean, like Pendleton, that gets really cold. Joseph, Burns, all those places, Bend, are a lot colder. They'll have colder winters than you do. How does temperature and precipitation change as you increase in elevation? We just did this one. As you go up,
Temperatures get warmer,
it does not get warmer as you go up a mountain.
colder.
Does it get colder and wetter or colder and drier?
Colder and drier.
Yep, the last one.
Wait, I don't have the same question as that.
How are precipitation and temperature different between the polar and tropical climate zones? What do you think? What's the difference between the polar and the tropical zones?
The polar is really cold, and the tropical climates are usually really hot.
What about the precipitation? Right? Precipitation is more in the tropical zones. Remember, hot air holds more water. Explain how temperature and precipitation are affected by latitude and the sun's rays. So as you go further away from the equator to higher latitudes, right? What am I going to expect? You can expect warmer or cooler temperatures. What do you guys think?
Colder?
Colder temperatures. And how about rain?
Colder?
Colder rain?
Hot as Roma rain.
Do you get more rain or less rain as you leave the equator?
Less rain.
Less rain.
Mhm. And the sun's rays are at an angle. Do you see the angle part? Do you guys understand that? So they aren't as strong. So in other words, if you have a ball like this and the sun's shining like this, it's going to hit this part directly, but it's not going to hit this part directly. It's going to be kind of at an angle. So it won't be as strong. You're on vacation with your family up in the mountains. Your friend's on the vacation near the equator by the ocean. Lucky friend. Explain which climate will experience the most rain. Who's going to get more rain? You up in the mountains or your friend at the equator in the, near the rainforest?
Near the rainforest.
Yes.
No rainforest.
Submit quiz. How'd we do? Does it tell us the score? No, but it gives us the correct answers are hidden. That's weird.
That
think-
means we got some wrong.
No, I don't think we did. Oh, 16 out of 20. We did get some wrong. Where's our wrong one?
No, you have to grade the 2 questions.
Oh,
Oh,
that's right.
yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I have to grade myself. Okay. That's it, guys. I'm going to now transfer, it's 2 minutes until book club. I'm going to transfer us to I'll remake the breakout room and move us to our breakout
Not
room.
everybody is here. It looks like it's just me and Eli.
Well, yeah, today it is Christian, Javier, Eli, Luis, and Javen. I will assign you manually. I'll let you choose the room actually. So I just recreated room 1 and opened it. Go ahead and go to that breakout room, Eli and Christian, and I'll send a note to the other guys. Open up our Google Doc and I'll send a note to Javier and see if he can come in because sometimes he comes in. And Luis was here, but he's gone now. And Javen, is Javen not here? Javen was here too. He must have taken off too. I'll send them both reminders. I see Christian in there. I don't see Eli in there. Eli, head into the breakout room. Okay. Everybody else, you guys can take off. I'm going to send a quick note to Mr. Javier and see if I can get him in. Favorite courses, room here. Yep, Javen. Javen. And Luis. Please zoom in now for book club. Okay. And bye-bye. Bye, Chef Toad. Hey, where are you guys? Uh-oh.